is spend the next little bit just introducing you to, I suppose, what on one hand we could call an enterprise change management approach. It's a fairly high level macro approach, but if in the black text you see there at the bottom of your screen, in my opinion, it's very much a service delivery framework, because let's remember, going back to that critical triangle, that triune relationship between leadership capability, between project management capability and change management capability, that projects focus on the technical side, the doing side, whereas the change management is about bringing the people, it's about facilitating the people change. So in that sense, it's all about people, and if it's all about people, then it's all about service delivery. Now, there is a whole bunch of collateral and business assets and models, and we've got relationships and partners that have got reams of information. But sometimes the challenge is you can have all the best stuff under the sun, but if there isn't a clear conceptualization and an agreement with the business on how you go about doing change, not that you have to go and rewrite the whole corporate change management framework if they don't have one. And I mean, the business I'm in at the moment has 14 of them, and I'm working with one of the heads of in the HR space to just consolidate it, because when you say we're going to do some change, and because it's a group wide affecting 16,000 people, everyone's got their own ways they like to do things, and in one hand that's great, on the other hand it can make service delivery a little difficult. So to get everyone on a page, what we've done here at Management Effect is come up with our overarching approach. And this is, if you like, the roadmap that we've used to develop our change management training. Now, if we look at that at face value, probably a couple of things that might stand out to you for those who are familiar with projects are its logical relationship to the Prince2 and the PMBOK elements of project management. It's not a perfect marriage, but what you can see there is when we talk about business solutions, they pretty much follow, even though you can double back, between the phases and so on, they pretty much follow a linear left to right execution. And I would put to you, so it is with change. The couple of interesting noticings that I just want to draw out here, if you haven't picked up on them, are when projects are in startup mode, the point I want to draw here is change is in startup mode. Now, even if there's no people at the table yet talking about comms or change, that kind of doesn't matter. You're in that stage. And what happens is people often naively start driving projects, start engaging stakeholders without any real formal appreciation, or without any significant appreciation. There might be some formal stuff there, but the change starts right there. And in our opinions, that's where the service delivery needs to start too. And that's where the people solutions start to gather momentum as to, and they will indicate early on whether or not you're going to have successful change. If we have a look at the structure of how we actually present this in the curriculum materials, I've just got a couple of screenshots here that I want to share with you. The way the course is structured at the moment is we've released one program, which is it's about, I suppose, a 45-minute by the time you work from beginning to end and go through the materials. You can see there that the curriculum we focused on has 6 key areas of focus. And course 1 is very much about introducing the approach, the service delivery approach to change. And it's also about addressing the key elements associated with change. Now, the next courses, which not released yet, courses 2, 3, 4, and 5, are a deep dive, and they look at each of the phases of the change: the startup phase, the prepare to change, the plan and implement, and the support and the embedding of the change. And that's how we've structured the curriculum. Now, again, I've just got another screenshot here, which we covered off in the previous slide. I've just got a couple of snapshots that I've pulled out. So you can see here, for those of you familiar with the Learning Seat platform, they've got a really nice user interface and a really clean and crisp presentation of the content on the screen. And it's nice. It moves bits, colors come in and out, and it's got the engagement and the attraction that we'd expect to see in a great online learning solution. So I'll just share with you a couple of the screenshots. This particular graphic you see in front of you is one of those, if you like, it unfolds in front of you to help illustrate the distinction. In this particular instance, the key point we're trying to illustrate to our participants is just the benefits you can get through having a structured approach to managing expectations. And there's several bits of text that go with it to explain the nuances of that. Again, I've got a screenshot here of how we've brought our framework together. There's a really nice part of the first module where we sort of look at people can involve, and I can, for those of you can see on the areas around climbing into certain buttons, and you can look at the various aspects and the stages in this case that people sometimes go through to facilitate change. We've also got a series of quizzes, which is a great feature because it allows people to see, am I getting this? Is this working for me? And it's also got, there's a really nice sort of, connect the dots type of piece to understand, which bit goes where, and again, all of those great things that we've come to see in the Learning Seat modules. So again, another part of the content, just to touch on some of the nuances of the curriculum, is we've made some significant relationships between where change management fits with project management. A lot of businesses get project management, at least in principle, and sometimes for them they struggle to understand, well, where does change fit, and how does it relate to benefits realization, and we cover off those aspects of understanding where change fits into the bigger picture. And again, at the back end of the first module, we've just got a bit of a snapshot that looks at the remaining structure, just as a bit of an introduction to help people understand and to give it a context so that people are aware of where it fits into the broader scheme of change management. And I suppose one point to make clear here is that we've deliberately kept a fairly high-level macro approach to our change service delivery framework, because businesses don't want to go and rewrite their frameworks. They might want to try and fit their framework and use our curriculum, and there's a really simple marriage here between using a reasonably high-level, robust, lined up with project management, and people can shift and change things as need be, and even if you'd like, of course, Learning Seat always offers the opportunity to customize their curriculum as well. Now that pretty much brings us to the conclusion of, I suppose, the show and tell side. We've got a couple of minutes left, so I just thought I would open the question space again for those who are interested, and I'm more than happy to do some dialogue if you're willing to type in, because I've struggled here to work out how to do the unmute. So if you could just type in. Or alternatively, folks, if you're, we've had one or two drop out there now, and if you'd like to go and keep getting on with your day, I would like to thank you for your time and your attendance this morning. I would encourage you to share some of this stuff with your friends, and if you'd like to access the recording, I've been recording this morning, and we'll be able to send that out as a Windows media file for those who are interested, and we'll send you a link as to where that will be posted. In the meantime, for those who would like to come in, I've got a couple of questions here. The other modules, the question is, when are the other modules likely to be released? That's a great question. The first one has only gone out about a month ago, and we're partly watching it with one eye on that to see how it goes in terms of how quickly we release the other ones. The curriculum is very much in draft mode, ready for rollout. So if I had to put a time on it, I'd have to say it would probably be within a couple of months, would be my best answer on that one. Are there any other questions, folks, that you'd like me to address? right, okay, all right, now I've got a couple of questions here. I see there's a few rolling in, and I'm just going to scroll through and make sure I cover them off. One of the questions here, what are the main causes of management resisting change? I think one of the main causes of people resisting change is that they don't know how. And don't know how is generally a result of people not being clear about the future state. I think when people are clear about the future state, that clarity helps mitigate the fear. And when fear gets in people's thinking, it just messes with the whole works. And, you know, we've all been there. But when people, I think, are really clearly communicated with, and that doesn't mean corporate BS communicated with, that means really straight talk communicated with, I think you always get a much better result. The other side of it too, of course, is in terms of why do people resist, because I think it's always one of my intentions with change to ensure who is the most powerful, and that doesn't mean in the hierarchy, that might mean who is the most powerful, credible person in the business who can help advocate and sponsor for this initiative of change. If you can get that person telling your story, others will follow. I hope that helps. Okay, we've got a couple of other questions here. How do we access the beginnings? Can we access the beginning slides? Yeah, of course. I'm happy to send out the slides as a summary. I'll send them out as a PDF, and I'll also make available this this Windows media file. Okay. Okay, another question here. At the end of doing the courses, will there be any recognition of the training, I suppose is being asked here. Now, that's a great question. We are passionate at Management Effect about giving people the best quality training we can, and we think it only makes sense that that should be able to be acknowledged within the AQTF, the competency-based framework. At the moment, there is a new program available where people can receive certification at a certificate 4 and diploma level, and we are in a position where we will be able to go to the market and talk to that with more clarity in the next couple of weeks as to what our role will be in helping to facilitate people getting that. Please be aware that we have drafted these materials fully appreciating that the recognition of prior learning is a big thing for people, and if they are able to use this content to supplement them getting a qualification, it is our intent to make sure that the content can be geared to achieve that result. Okay, how do we access the course? Okay, no problems. That's a great question too. You'll be able to access the program through the Management Effect Learning Seat library, and that's available. You can just simply Google Management Effect Learning Seat, and we've got a library that we can present to you, or alternatively, you can contact us through the contact us, which will send out some details to all the participants who got on today, and we can send you that information via an email, and I'll cover off some of the content of these questions as well. Well, folks, that I'm looking at my watch, and that says 11:45. We've still got quite a few listeners online there, so but I think I've made my way through all of the questions. I'll just do a quick scroll back to the top and make sure I have. But for those of you who need to close off now, that's the allotted time that we've given. And again, I want to say thank you. And on behalf of Learning Seat, would like to send out a sincere thanks, and would like to invite you to have a look at the materials as well. And if you've got any questions, feel free to contact your Learning Seat representative, or contact us at Management Effect. And with that, I can't see any more questions coming through. So, folks, I think we might call it a day there, and I wish you all the best. Thanks for attending. Bye for now.